everyone, I'm Manav and you are watching that one TV show which satisfies your hunger for everything automotive at one place. Yes, you're watching the Times Drive show. Now just like every time, this time as well, we have a lot of action packed into the episode. So without any further ado, let's take a look at what's coming your way over the next half an hour. We will start off with the Ferrari 12 Cilindri, which is perhaps their last V12 naturally aspirated engine-powered supercar. And yes, at Times Drive, we have driven it. Then we'll take a look at Ultraviolette's new motorcycle, which is electric and also happens to be a crossover. And that's not it, we'll take you for a drive in the Toyota Fortuner mild hybrid and find out if something like a mild hybrid makes sense in such a big car. So as you can see, a lot of action is coming your way. And yes, the Volkswagen Golf GTI is giving us company today for this episode. Now, in the world of enthusiasts in the hatchback space, there's hardly anything that can match up to the prestige of the Volkswagen Golf GTI, which has finally come to the Indian market. However, if you were to remove that hatchback filter and talk about pure enthusiasm, there's hardly anything as good as a Ferrari, and in Ferrari's own lineup, there's hardly anything on the top as much as it is in the case of a V12 engine-powered car. Now, in 2025, with the emission norms, sound regulations, and so many things happening, making a V12 engine-powered supercar is a tough task. Many manufacturers have already given up on it, but not Ferrari. They've come out with the 12 Cilindri. I've driven it, and let's take a look at how it went. The car that I have today for you is really special, not only because it's a Ferrari, but also because it's a celebration of everything that auto enthusiasts love. Ever since 1947, Ferrari has had a V12 car in their lineup. And in today's day and age, where all manufacturers are shifting towards hybridization, electrification, so on and so forth, Ferrari is making a car for the true enthusiasts. And that car, ladies and gentlemen, is this, the 12 Cilindri. It's difficult to choose where to start this review because there's just so much to talk about. You and I can sit down for a long lunch and still not be able to cover everything that Ferrari has done to make this car look and feel special. And while we can discuss the details all day, what you can't deny is just how beautiful it looks. Everything from the stance to the proportions, it just works. And the inspiration? Well, that's the Ferrari Daytona as denoted by the black band between the headlamps. And no, you can't have it in body color. The curvaceous fenders flowing over the massive 21-inch wheels give it a sense of speed. And if you look at it from the side, you will notice just how far back the cabin is. At speeds, the rear aero elements pop up from both sides of the car, but at standstill, they hide away to make sure the lines of the cars are not disturbed. This car is an amalgamation of aluminium and carbon fiber in a smooth and futuristic package that also harks to the glorious past of the prancing horse. Now, what's in a name? Well, it's a lot, because to give you an idea about its name, I have to open this beautiful Cofango bonnet. What you have over here is a 12-cylinder naturally aspirated engine, even in today's day and age, and Ferrari wants you to know that just by the name. Now, if you were to say 12 cylinders in Italian, you will call it 12 Cilindri, and that is what is the name of the car. Step inside and you will be greeted by an intricately crafted layered dashboard, which essentially has two sections of the cabin. One for the driver and one for the passenger. The highlight is the steering wheel with no stalks behind it. It's a unique design and one that makes sure you never have to remove your hand from the wheel. Overall, everything is built as premium as you can imagine and feels soothing to the touch. I particularly like the transmission controls, which look like the gated gearboxes of yore. Speaking of which, enough talk, let's drive. Now that we are inside the 12 Cilindri, let's talk about the driving experience. I've been hugged down by the seats. The car will change directions on the drop of a hat. It's a fantastic experience. I'm so low, you can see just how the guardrails are behind me. It is a completely different experience. And of course, if I just flip the Manatino over here, go to race mode and go down a couple of gears, put the throttle down, and I have so much performance. Oh my god, it's difficult to think that's just how responsive this car is. Fabulous. You have a fantastic exhaust note giving you company right behind your ears, and it's an experience unlike any other. Yes, the ride quality is a little stiff. I feel all the undulations of the road, but at no point do I feel out of control. The car is giving me absolute confidence, even with so much power on tap, and I think that is an incredible feeling. Now, Ferrari says this is a grand tourer and not a sports car, not an all-out performance car. That is a mantle held by some other V12 in its lineup, but the naturally aspirated V12 experience is in the Grand Tourer format, and I understand it. A car like this, on roads like these, a long Sunday drive, well, it's a pleasurable experience. I'm not going to go into much details about the nitty-gritties of the car. Overall, everything that you expect a Ferrari to be, the 12 Cilindri is just that. So let's sum it all up. I've had a fantastic time driving this car. I've told you what it's all about, but you may have noticed I've not spoken things like the exact price tag of the car or the kilometers per liter that it gets or the everyday usability of such a vehicle, even though it is a fantastic grand tourer. Well, the reason is simple. These questions, well, if you're asking them, this may not be the car for you. But if you're someone who likes that naturally aspirated roar of a 12-cylinder engine in a modern-day supercar packed with performance, well, there is only one answer to that question. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ferrari 12 Cilindri. So there you have it. That was the Ferrari 12 Cilindri. Now let's move on to the world of two-wheelers and let's talk electric. Now, I think you would have presumed when I say an electric two-wheeler, our next story will be about an electric scooter. But that's not the case because Ultraviolette has been doing things differently, and continuing that theme, they've come out with a new electric motorcycle that also happens to be a crossover. Let's go to Ankur Taneja and find out more about it.
Everyone has their own vision of the future, but those who see more clearly often create products to match the needs of tomorrow. Now, Ultraviolette is betting a portion of their future on this new electric bike, the X47, and they're claiming that this offers the best of both worlds, city rides as well as light adventures. Now, how strong is that claim? That's what I'll explore in this review. Now let's talk about the design and the features that Ultraviolette is offering in this X47. So over here in the front you get the full LED setup in the headlamps and the DRLs as well, and this design will give you the feel or the impression of the F77 headlamp that is there in this X47 as well. And you get the upside down forks over here in the front and 17-inch 110 section wheels in the front and 17-inch 150 section wheels in the rear of this X47. And disc brakes in both front and rear, and you get the dual channel ABS, switchable ABS option in this X47 as well. And about the design, you get the Ultraviolette badging over here at the tank and the X47 badging on the side as well. And the rear section of this bike is quite sleek, and you get the bold and muscular look in the front and this compact look in the rear of this X47. And indicators also get the LED setup. And there is one feature that everyone is talking about that we also tested during our ride today at the track. And with that radar and the ADAS pack, you get features like blind spot assist, overtake alert and rear collision alert. And these kind of features Ultraviolette is offering with this X47. Over here at the handlebar, you get these switches to control the instrument cluster, and there is horn, indicator, hazard light and high beam, low beam switch on the left side of steering wheel. And on the right side, you get ignition switch, and you can change the modes from here itself. And over here in the cluster, you can change settings and turn the ABS on and off. Another thing that Ultraviolette is offering with this X47 is the onboard charger option. Now, the radar feature will come standard in all variants, but if you want this onboard charger option, you have to opt for it and pay some extra for this onboard charger that Ultraviolette is offering with this X47. And the seat over here is single and is wide enough for both rider and the pillion, and the cushioning is also quite good. Now let's talk about the X47's performance, ride and handling. In terms of specs, it delivers around 39 bhp and 100 Nm of peak torque. I tested it briefly on track and in the real world conditions, including highways and city environments. Performance-wise, I have no complaints. It offers 3 modes, each delivering distinct performance levels. In terms of weight, the bike feels balanced, though I noticed some heft during turns on the track. However, handling wasn't a major issue. Ride comfort is solid thanks to the suspension setup and the braking. Suspension setup absorbs potholes well, even deeper ones in city or off-road conditions, and the seat cushioning adds to the comfort. The only issue I faced was a screeching noise from the rear brake during sudden braking on the highway. I'm unsure if this was specific to the unit I tested, but it's something I noticed. As an overall package, the biggest USP of Ultraviolette X47 is its pricing. The introductory ex-showroom price is 2.5 lakh for the first 5,000 bookings, rising to 2.76 lakh afterward. Considering the technology, range and performance, Ultraviolette has packed a lot into this crossover bike. The ADAS features at this price point are a standout. The positives outweigh the negatives, and with some refinements before deliveries, the X47 could be a compelling option.
The car that I have for you today is the Toyota Fortuner, and for the year 2025, some of its variants have got an upgrade, and that is a mild hybrid system. In a car this size, what's happening to the Toyota Fortuner? Let's talk about it. Now, just like other mild hybrid system equipped cars from Toyota Motors, this one also gets the suffix of Neo Drive. And yes, you heard me right, it now comes with a mild hybrid system. As I mentioned before, it's always surprising to say that. But let's start with the design of the car. Nothing has changed, which is not a bad thing because the car is a handsome looking piece of metal. And overall, the design has remained identical, barring one change, which is right here, which is the addition of the Neo Drive pad. Let's talk about the interiors. Well, it continues to be the same as well. It's the same design, same look and feel, same use of materials all through the cabin, and it's the same feeling that leaves you wanting a bit more from the cabin itself. The only change that you see over here is the addition of this start-stop button over here, which is the addition that you get from the inclusion of the mild hybrid system in the car. We'll talk about that in a bit. And yes, you now get a wireless charging pad at the front as well, and you also get a 360-degree camera in the Neo Drive variants. Other than that, you get this multi-terrain selector button over here, which lets you set up the car as per different driving conditions, which I think is a good touch. Even less to report at the back, everything continues to be the same, which is again not a bad thing because it's a comfortable place to be in. I've set the front seat as per my height. For reference, I'm 5'10", and you can see I have enough knee room, leg room and headroom on offer. I have the drop down armrest with the pop out cup holders, and overall it's a place you don't mind being chauffeur driven in. Finally, the boot space. Again, no complaints over here, lots of space on offer, and if you want, you can pop out the last row of seats and have adults seated over here as well. That's the amount of space that you get. And now let's talk about the big change, which is somewhere over here. It still is a very heavy bonnet to open. But yes, this is where the big change is. you continue to get the massive 2.8 litre 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine on offer with the torque converter automatic gearbox as we have on our test unit right now. But the change, however, is the addition of a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Overall, this drivetrain continues to produce 204 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque, which is the same as before, so the overall output hasn't gone up, but Toyota claims that when you're driving, that hybrid system will give you an assist in low-speed driving conditions especially. So let's take it for a drive and find out more. Now, when it comes to the driving experience, do you really feel the difference with the mild hybrid assist? Well, yes and no. Yes, when you are going through those low-speed accelerations or when your car is at idle, you feel that the refinement definitely has seen a bit of an improvement, but performance on the other hand continues to be the same. Yes, if you were to drive this car back to back along with the Toyota Fortuner without the mild hybrid assist, you might be able to tell the difference, but overall the difference is very minimal. But that's not a bad thing because the Toyota Fortuner continues to drive like a tank. I mean, any sort of road conditions that may come your way, you don't really have to worry. You just floor the throttle and at higher speeds, it will take those bad patches of road flawlessly. However, during those low speed jitters and bumps and potholes, well, over that, the Fortuner's ride quality feels a little bit busy. But that is something that you expect from a proper off-roader like the Toyota Fortuner, which this is. If there is one thing that I could change though, however, would be the amount of effort that goes into turning the steering wheel during a U-turn. It's a really heavy steering wheel and I wish Toyota would have done something about it as well. Well, now it's time to share the verdict, and I think it doesn't really matter. If you were going to buy this car, I believe you will go on to buy this car any which way. That's the power of the Toyota Fortuner. Despite its ever-increasing price tag, the sales, the demand of this car go on to show that it really doesn't matter. People just want a Fortuner, and I get it. I understand why. However, if you're still interested in a verdict, well, here you go. I think it's a great time for Toyota to upgrade the Fortuner. And I don't mean a small upgrade, a small facelift, a small feature addition here or there. I'm talking about a proper generational upgrade. You see, today, the Toyota Fortuner doesn't really have a rival, so it's the time to cement its position as the go-to SUV of the Indian market. Having said that, if you were going to buy the car any which way, well now, it's slightly better than before. And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of the Times Drive Show. We really hope you enjoyed our episode. We put in a lot of effort to bring you all of this fantastic content. If you liked it, if you have anything to say, any feedback for us, or you want to tell us what we should cover next, make sure you reach out to us on our social handles. And if you're planning to buy a new car, a new motorcycle, or a new scooter, well, go to timesdrive.in where you will find all the necessary information that you need. With that, I take your leave. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you same time next week only on the Times Drive Show.